From virtual escapades deemed too shocking to air to jaw-dropping scenes that provoked moral outrage, in the vast world of video games, some moments transcend the boundaries of imagination, venturing into the realms of the unthinkable. These moments push the boundaries of what is acceptable, causing controversies to ripple through the gaming industry. Join us as we have a look at 15 crazy video game moments that went way too far. Number 1. The Sims 4. The Sims 4, developed by Electronic Arts, has been the talk of the town lately. It allows players to create their own virtual world, controlling their Sims in various real-life situations. And yes, that also includes falling in love, regardless of the gender. The Kremlin-appointed body responsible for ratings slapped the harshest possible rating on the game, prohibiting anyone under 18 from playing it. Electronic Arts are standing firm against this censorship. They've clarified that they won't change the game to conform to Russia's strict policies. A spokesperson for the team stated that they have no plans to alter Sims 4. While Russian gamers are divided on the issue, one player suggested a compromise. He believes that separate versions of the game should be available, catering to players who want to explore same-sex relationships and those who prefer a different approach. After all, gaming is about choices and personal expression. Electronic Arts, the publisher of the Sims series, must be feeling quite disappointed. Typically, the game receives a 12+ rating in Europe and a T for teen rating in the United States. However, it seems that Russia's law, F36FZ, has come into play, focusing on the game's portrayal of same-sex relationships. When this law would first be introduced in 2010, its primary aim was to protect minors from content that most countries find concerning. Those things such as violence, drug abuse, pornography, and more. But in 2013, Vladimir Putin amended that law to include the classification of propaganda of non-traditional sexual relationships as being harmful to children. Number 2. Mario's fur flying controversy. When Super Mario 3D Land hits the shelves, fans worldwide are ecstatic. But amidst the excitement, PETA jumped into action, claiming that Mario's furry power-up sends a dangerous message about wearing real animal fur. According to PETA, by donning the Tanuki suit, Mario is endorsing the cruel treatment of real-life raccoon dogs who suffer unimaginable horrors for their fur. In a bold move, PETA took their fight to the virtual world, unleashing Super Tanuki Skin 2D, an over-the-top web-based video game that shows a skinless Tanuki pursuing Mario, desperate to reclaim its blood-drenched pelt. Talk about intense. But let's be honest, it's not a game that's going to win any awards. Here's the catch though, Mario's Tanuki suit is merely a suit, a costume, and not a real animal skin. It's all make-believe, but it seems that PETA used Mario's popularity to generate some buzz for their cause. The question is, would Nintendo take the bait? While PETA's intentions might have been noble, some argue that they're going a bit too far by targeting a fictional character. After all, Mario's adventures have always been about fun, heroism, and saving the princess, not promoting fur wearing. So, nobody should get too carried away with the controversy. Number 3. Cyberpunk 2077 bugs. For years, fans eagerly anticipated the open-world RPG that was supposed to redefine the genre, but instead of a seamless, immersive experience, players were greeted with many technical issues that plagued the game. The console versions of Xbox One and PlayStation 4 were hit the hardest, with performance issues and subpar graphics that fell far short of expectation. Things got so bad, in fact, that Sony took the unprecedented step of removing Cyberpunk 2077 from the PlayStation Store just 1 week after being released. What had caused this drastic action? Well, it was a combination of factors. Complaints had flooded in about the abundance of bugs, rendering the game virtually unplayable for some. And let's not forget the infamous glitch that caused characters' private parts to burst through their clothing. Talk about a wardrobe malfunction. With production costs skyrocketing to a staggering $330 million, this game was supposed to be a visual marvel. However, players were disappointed as the hyped-up graphics did not live up to the hype, and crashes became an all-too-familiar occurrence. In response to the outcry, Sony announced that they would offer full refunds to customers who had purchased the game through the PlayStation Store, and they also boldly moved to remove Cyberpunk 2077 from their digital shelves until further notice. It's safe to say that this futuristic adventure took a detour into Glitch City. Whether flying cars stuck midair or characters clipping through walls, Cyberpunk 2077 delivered a roller coaster of bugs that bewildered players. Number 4. GTA Online Cocaine Business Empire. The Grand Theft Auto franchise is no stranger to controversy, and its reputation for pushing boundaries only fueled its popularity. From violence to sexual content to satirical commentary, GTA has it all. It's a game that embraces its M-rated label and thrives on its no-holds-barred approach to gameplay. One of GTA's earliest controversies revolved around players' ability to hire sex workers and then brutally eliminate them to reclaim their ill-gotten gains. While the game didn't explicitly encourage such behavior, the fact that it was possible stirred up quite the storm. Fast forward to GTA Online, where players can establish their own cocaine empire. The business operates through cocaine lockups, allowing players to source supplies and manufacture the illicit product. It's a hands-on, albeit virtual experience of the dark underbelly of criminal enterprise. For experienced players, the cocaine lockup offers a mostly passive income stream. With the right funding, supplies can be purchased and profits begin rolling in. Beginners, on the other hand, can embark on a thrilling biker resupply mission to kickstart their operation. And of course, the cocaine business empire has not been without its detractors. Concerns have been raised about its portrayal of illegal substances and the potential impact on impressionable minds. There have even been instances where real-world drugs were discovered in used copies of the game, emphasizing the need for caution. Number 5. Warcraft 3 Reforged. A wild ride through the controversial world of Blizzard's Warcraft 3 Reforged was littered with broken online play, missing features, and a final product that betrayed its fans. It's safe to say that Blizzard dropped the ball on this one, and the backlash became immediate. Warcraft 3 Reign of Chaos was a beloved cult classic, but the highly anticipated remake was a disaster. Bugs had plagued the multiplayer mode, cherished features were stripped away, and the overall expectation for a stellar remake was shattered. Players were infuriated by the forced update, which rendered the original game unplayable. In a short period of time, Warcraft 3 Reforged earned the unfortunate title of Worst Game of the Year. Blizzard's response to the backlash didn't exactly inspire confidence. They focused on bug fixes and missing features, promising a major patch to address them. However, important elements like leaderboards and clans were missing, affecting Reforged players and those who are still enjoying the original Warcraft 3. Blizzard's decision to merge both versions into a single client left many scratching their heads. In an attempt to explain the lackluster cutscenes, Blizzard had claimed that they wanted to preserve the true spirit of Warcraft 3 and stay faithful to the original game. But fans couldn't help but feel disappointed by the less dynamic visuals compared to what was showcased at BlizzCon 2018. Blizzard's response would leave players with lingering concerns and unanswered questions. While they had acknowledged that the update didn't address everything, they reassured the community of their commitment to Warcraft 3 and their long-term dedication to Reforged. The road to redemption for Blizzard is rocky, and the Warcraft 3 community is left hoping that future updates will deliver the experience they were promised. Only time will tell if Blizzard can salvage their reputation and win back the hearts of the fans who were let down by this controversial remake. Number 6. GTA 5 Fan Modes. There's always a fine line between creativity and going too far in fan-made mods, and in the case of GTA 5, some mods certainly cross the line. Picture this: a mod that allowed players to take control of an NS soldier and wreak havoc on the city, complete with banned symbols that were unmistakable. You can imagine the outrage and the shock that would ensue. It's no wonder that players were left shaking their heads in disbelief. That's not all, though. In another mod that pushed the boundaries of decency, players could take on the role of Franklin, one of the game's characters, and engage in romantic escapades with none other than the wife of the main protagonist, Michael. That's right, they could go on dates, hit the dance floor together, and even engage in explicit activities that we won't explore any further here. Talk about a bizarre turn of events. These mods would spark controversy and raise questions about the limits of creative expression in the gaming world. And while some may argue that mods are meant to push boundaries, it's clear that there are moments when they go too far and cross into uncomfortable territory. GTA 5 is no stranger to controversy, but these mods took things to a new level. They left players scratching their heads and wondering what on earth they were witnessing. It's a stark reminder that even in the virtual realm, there are lines that shouldn't be crossed. Number 7. Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2 No Russian Mission. Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2 pushed the intensity boundaries and sparked heated debates. Imagine being thrust into the shoes of a spy infiltrating a terrorist group at an airport, but here's the catch. You must open fire on innocent civilians in order to maintain your cover. That's right, the mission aptly named No Russian had players making a gut-wrenching decision that left them questioning morality. The game's developers would defend their choice, stating that they wanted to shed light on the cruelty of terrorism. However, this argument did not fly with the German USK, responsible for age ratings. In Germany, the game had to be altered to ensure that shooting innocent people resulted in an immediate failure. The intensity of the mission was simply too much for even adult players to handle. This particular mission would stir up controversy and ignited discussions about the depiction of violence in video games. It raised questions about the boundaries of storytelling and whether certain subjects should be explored within the gaming medium. While the mission intended to provoke thought and evoke emotion, it undoubtedly left a lasting impact on players worldwide. The line between realism and entertainment became blurred, leaving gamers to grapple with the ethical implications of their actions in the virtual world. Number 8. Grand Theft Auto's Hot Coffee Mod. Rockstar Games would release Grand Theft Auto San Andreas in 2004, a game that was already notorious for pushing boundaries, and little did they know that nestled deep within the game's code was an inaccessible minigame known as Hot Coffee. Developers had intended it as an inside joke that was never meant to see the light of day due to its explicit content, but you know gamers, they're always up for a challenge. Fast forward to 2005 when the Hot Coffee mod emerged for the PC version of San Andreas, igniting controversy. Suddenly, players could access this forbidden minigame, simulating explicit sexual encounters between the main character CJ and his virtual girlfriend. Rockstar Games initially tried to dodge responsibility, claiming that it was the work of hackers, but the truth eventually emerged. Hot Coffee was no third-party creation. It was simply lurking within the game's code all along, waiting to be uncovered by daring players. Rockstar's attempts to shift blame would go up in smoke. The scandalous mod soon attracted the attention of activists and politicians that caused an uproar. Demands for a review of the entertainment software rating board's standards would echo throughout the gaming world. The ESRB swiftly launched an investigation, resulting in an unprecedented move. GTA San Andreas' rating would skyrocket from mature to adults only, and it was a first for the GTA franchise. The aftermath was intense. Rockstar had scrambled to release a clean game version, salvaging its original rating, but the repercussions didn't stop there. The controversy spurred the creation of the Family Entertainment Protection Act, championed by Hillary Clinton, that aimed to enforce the ESRB ratings and safeguard youth from explicit content. Hot Coffee mod's legacy did not end with San Andreas. Recently, a Red Dead Redemption 2 mod would resurface that was inspired by its scandalous predecessor. Although Rockstar requested its removal, the modders stood their ground, arguing that it contained no nudity and merely repurposed in-game animations. Number 9. Night Trap. Now we travel back to 1992, when Night Trap first graced the gaming scene on the Sega CD system. In this nerve-wracking adventure, you're immersed in a sleepover party with some innocent girls, but little did they know that they're about to face an onslaught of terrifying vampires armed with axes and science fiction weapons. As a member of the Sega Control Attack Team, or SCAT for short, the fate of these girls lies in your hands. Switch between multiple cameras strategically placed throughout the house, setting up cunning booby traps to outsmart the bloodthirsty assailants and save the day. What made Night Trap truly groundbreaking was its revolutionary use of full-motion video. By seamlessly blending live-action cutscenes with interactive gameplay, the game became an immersive and captivating movie. Now sure, the acting may not have won any Oscars, and the B-horror movie script could be deemed unintentionally hilarious, but that's all part of the charm that made Night Trap stand out. Yet, Night Trap's impact reaches far beyond its entertainment value. It played a pivotal role in shaping the gaming industry by contributing to establishing the Entertainment Software Rating Board, or ESRB. During the 1990s, U.S. legislators would raise concerns about the game's portrayal of scantily clad female characters and its depiction of violence, especially considering its young target audience. These debates would ignite a more broad conversation about the content and appropriate age restrictions for video games, ultimately leading to the current ESRB rating system. Number 10. Carmageddon's Violent Antics. In a world where racing games typically reward skillful maneuvers and clean racing, Carmageddon threw all the rules out the window. Running over pedestrians became a twisted and unconventional bonus, understandably raising eyebrows. Several countries, which includes Germany, had to censor the game by replacing pedestrians with zombies and robots. It was a bold and daring move that would divide opinions and spark debate about the limits of video game content. What truly sets Carmageddon apart from the pack, even after 25 years, was its groundbreaking 3D physics engine. Developed by Dr. Kevin Martin, this engine was a game-changer, laying the foundation for future physics engines and earning praise from many developers who would come afterwards in the gaming world. It was a quantum leap forward in gaming, introducing solid-body three-dimensional physics with perfect collisions and conservations of angular momentum. Talk about taking it to a whole new level. However, developers of Carmageddon did not stop there. They wanted to create a real experience that would resonate with players on a primal level. By implementing these physics rules into every aspect of the game, they tapped into the subconscious understanding of the world, making the collisions and reactions feel just right. It's like they unlocked the secret formula for engaging the brain and immersing everyone in a thrilling automotive extravaganza. And of course, Carmageddon wasn't all about the physics and realism. It had a mischievous side as well. The game's incredible power-ups were born out of funny bugs that the team stumbled upon during development, and rather than squashing those bugs, they embraced them, turning them into hilarious and electrifying features. Number 11. Hatred, the Genocidal Game. In October of 2014, a Polish studio named Destructive Creations would unleash hatred upon the gaming world. With a trailer that left no room for subtlety, we witnessed a gravel-voiced protagonist arming himself for a murderous rampage that was fueled by a chilling contempt for society. It was a statement that went well beyond the ordinary. But that was only the beginning. The studio's PR strategy worked like a charm, with gaming websites scrambling to dissect the controversy that surrounded the trailer's content. Hatred even faced temporary removal from Steam Greenlight, causing an uproar and accusations of corporate censorship. It was a roller coaster ride of emotions that gripped the gaming community. Twitch, the biggest video game streaming platform, banned games rated adults only by the Entertainment Software Ratings Board, and guess which game got caught in the crossfire? An AO rating is usually a death sentence for a game, limiting its commercial potential. Major retailers will refuse to stock it, and consoles like PlayStation and Xbox will steer clear. However, in the digital market, a game can still find its global audience with the support of a distribution platform like Steam. Hatred did just that, garnering a staggering number of votes on Steam Greenlight, proving that curiosity can overcome even the darkest of controversy. In truth, though, Hatred is not a game that truly rebels or challenges the status quo. It's a straightforward isometric third-person shooter that sticks to the tried-and-true conventions of the genre. Its understanding of anarchy is nothing more than a teenage daydream, a comedic mismatch of horror cliché. It's the gaming equivalent of a slasher film or a death metal band, providing predictable thrills for those who mistake shock value for true transgression. At its core, Hatred is nothing more than a game that invites you to embark on a genocidal crusade in the concrete jungle of New York City. Its adults-only rating prevented it from mainstream retail, and its extreme violence even caused a temporary ban from Steam. But let's not mistake the purpose behind the game. It's a spectacle, a dark fantasy that tries desperately to provoke, but it's as harmless as telling your mother you've brushed your teeth when you haven't. Number 12. The Last of Us: Eternal Forces. This game promised an immersive strategy gaming experience with a twist as you try to recruit others to the army of God. In the game, you're thrust into a post-rapture New York City, a city that's desperate in need of salvation. And your task? Rally believers and lead them into the battle against evil forces. But it's not only about the action-packed fights. You'll also have to build crucial facilities like banks, cafes, and medical centers in order to support and sustain your recruits in the chaotic world. The smooth gameplay mechanics offer a God's-eye view perspective of the action. However, you should be prepared for repetitive tasks that might test your patience. Want to recruit someone? Well, you'll have to explain the rapture and convert them to your cause. Need to establish essential buildings? Get ready to renovate them repeatedly. But beware, heathens do roam the city, determined to convert you and your followers back to neutral characters or evildoers. They'll use every trick in the book, from mind-numbing music to blinding lights, in order to lead you astray. Protecting your faith and staying on track with your mission becomes a constant battle. Despite its ambition, Left Behind: Eternal Forces faced significant controversy upon release. Critics would argue that the game promoted religious warfare and bigotry, leading to calls for boycotts and opposition from various progressive Christian groups. The game's exclusive religious system also raised concerns regarding its portrayal of Jews. Number 13. The Manhunt series. In this infamous series, players are introduced to James Earl Cash, an unexpectedly released death row inmate, only to become a pawn in a sick and sadistic game orchestrated by the director. Cash is forced to unleash unspeakable acts of violence upon other people, all while being recorded for the twisted pleasure of his tormentor. The Manhunt game spared no expense in delivering shocking gameplay experiences. You'll witness gruesome scenes of suffocation with plastic bags, savage disembowelments with sickles, and other acts of horrific violence that would leave you in disbelief. This is gaming at its most extreme. But beware, the controversy surrounding Manhunt is not for the faint of heart. Many countries took a hard stance against the series, leading to bans in Italy, Australia, and Ireland. Rockstar Games, the studio behind the franchise, found itself in hot water as the Manhunt series gained a reputation for being one of the most vile and controversial creations in their portfolio. Number 14. Mark Echo's Getting Up: Contents Under Pressure. In this unique action game, you'll step into the shoes of Train, a talented graffiti artist who uses his art to fight against a tyrannical government that's suffocating his city. One would think that it's a harmless game with mild violence and minimal controversial content, but it did rub Australia the wrong way. Australia, known for its strict video gaming policies, pulled the plug on Mark Echo's Getting Up, and that's because, amongst many of the reasons that a game could be banned, they believed that it promoted illegal street art. That's right, Australia was convinced that playing this game would inspire young people to take to the streets and unleash their artistic talents in the form of graffiti all over the country. Now, naturally, gamers and critics alike were left scratching their heads, calling Australia's decision ridiculous and absurd. But the land down under stood firm, ignoring the backlash and refusing to overturn their ruling. They seemed dead serious about protecting their walls from any unauthorized artistic expression. And so, if you ever find yourself in Australia and have an uncontrollable urge to unleash your inner graffiti artist through the virtual world of Mark Echo's Getting Up, you should think again. The game may have been too hot to handle for the Aussie authorities, leaving gamers in disbelief and wondering what on earth could be so offensive about a game that's all about street art and rebellion. Number 15. The Postal series. In the realm of crazy video game moments that would push the envelope, Postal 2 stands tall. Prepare yourself to step into the shoes of Postal Dude, an ordinary guy with an extraordinary capacity for chaos. Postal 2 presents itself as a seemingly innocent game where picking up groceries and delivering gifts is just part of the routine. But the game also has a dark side. It allows players to unleash unparalleled violence and mayhem upon unsuspecting citizens, from dismemberment to setting people on fire, and even extinguishing the flames with a rather unconventional method. Postal 2 leaves no limits unexplored. The extreme violence depicted in the game stirred up a storm of controversy. It was met with bans in multiple countries, but none went as far as New Zealand. The game was completely outlawed in an unprecedented move, with severe consequences for anyone possessing it. The message would be clear: Postal 2 had crossed a line that many deemed unacceptable. Interestingly enough, Postal 2 does offer a glimmer of choice amidst the chaos. While the game revels in bloodshed, players have the option to complete it without causing harm to a single soul. The decision is left up to the player, whether to embrace the darkness or to pursue a path of pacifism. But unfortunately, the allure of unleashing mayhem is hard to resist for some. That's all for today's 15 crazy video game moments that went way too far. Let me know your thoughts in the comments down below, and I'll see you next time.